This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Topping the news this evening, the Sir Randall Fox Labor Day Parade held on Grand Bahama today. There was a significant decline in the level of participation this year. Nevertheless, it was a vibrant celebration of history of the labor movement in the country. Joan Davis-Roll reports.
Workers throughout the country uniting this Labor Day, and here on Grand Bahama was no exception.
First, there was a call on a higher power for divine intervention this Labor Day as the celebrations commenced on Grand Bahama. The grounds of the Bahamas Public Service Union Hall, the starting point for the parade. And although the turnout among workers was low, respect and commitment to the ideals of the forefathers of labor, like the late Sir Randall Fox, ranked high, especially among this country's leaders.
So you come to Grand Bahama and being a part of the parade today, how do you feel?
I feel quite good, particularly as you reflect on the importance of Labor Day as we celebrate Randall Fox. Those were the men of the past who stood for the workers of our country. I tell you why it's also very important, Joan. We're about to celebrate the 50th anniversary of majority rule. Well, when you put majority rule in context, it would not have been a majority rule without the labor movement. So the labor movement is fundamental to our celebration, and we must put that in context. And so the country and people must understand that when we talk about these unions and people who get angry with unions, what do you get angry for? Without them, we would not have what we have. Without understanding and appreciating the fact that they were the liberators of our country.
Are you satisfied with the state of labor in the country?
Immigration is an issue which I have to deal with, and I'm very concerned about the high level of complaints from Bahamians about the way they are treated by these foreign investors who come in, and to insist that those people who come here to invest in the Bahamas respect the laws of this country and its people.
We've been working very closely with all the various organizations, and I'm really proud of the work so far that the Labor Department has done. There's a little bit more work left to be done, and I'm certain that they are now speaking with the relevant organizations to really address some of the key issues associated with labor in the island.
Persons on foot and in vehicles braving the sweltering heat to take a stand for labor, unionists weighing in on low participation and other critical issues.
In some cases, some of the workers feel that the union is not there supporting them, and when you have members of the union, the leaders of the union, being unable to get together and solve problems amongst themselves, that could be another reason why there's a lack of support by the workers.
I'm calling out, making a clarion plea to those that have the ability to lead, the passion, the fire in their belly, the desire to step to the fore, and so we could change some of the hurt, some of the pain of this nation. Because I believe if the employees are not doing well, if they are not being taken care of, they're being victimized and mistreated on the jobs, there goes our nation.
A lot of challenges, with an industrial agreement, and the morale for the most part right now is pretty low, but through God, you can do all things.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
Now, prior to today's march and rally, labor leaders past and present took part in a retreat here on Grand Bahama. Italia Hall has the details.
The theme this year is Persevering with Persistence. The struggle continues, and union leaders past and present came together to celebrate the growth of labor during a retreat on Tano Beach. Former BCPOU Area Vice President for the Northern Bahamas Kenneth Daines and BUT Acting President Zane Lightwarn say the union is important to the country.
The union is always a factor that is looking out for the workers' right. Workers always need somebody to more or less represent their cause in companies.
Sick pay, days off during maternity, vacation pay, all of these things are because the labor movement increases in salaries, and also all of the other benefits like health coverage. Labor unions cause this to happen for workers.
One of the honorees for this year's celebration is past president of the Bahamas Communication and Public Officers Union Keith Archer. Former area vice president Edmund Campbell reflects on Archer's tenure.
So everything I know about being in the union came through Keith Archer. He introduced me as a shop steward. He made me a shop steward in 1986. And from then it's been a real blessing. He was one of the instrumental persons in introducing what we have now, what we call the BCPOU pension plan.
Unionist Keith Archer says it's an honor to be selected, and he shared a bit of advice for other leaders in the movement.
You need to have knowledge, you need to have understanding, and you need to be able, the trade union of today need to be able to read and understand money, industrial relations, and conciliation, and how you get things worked out.
And as to what's next for Archer, a book so that his legacy will live on.
It's something that I believe I have to do, and in addition to, like I say, teaching in the NCTU Labor College, I have to do it, and I think that I have a lot to put in that book to make sure that people understand how you go about dealing with these things, because I was very successful, but I couldn't have been without these members.
It's Talia Hall, ZNF Network News.
Grand Bahama residents turned out last evening for a town meeting on the upcoming gender equality referendum hosted by Member of Parliament for Marco City, Greg Moss. Some residents attending were still seeking answers, while others had their minds made up. Resident David Knowles says he intends to vote no to each bill and sees no reason to change the Constitution. Meanwhile, resident Sandra Outen says she is unsure if she will vote.
We don't have no equality rights problems, far as I can see, you know. And then like I said, I'm a bill for us could be opening up to same-sex marriage, like how it did in other countries. Follow it, I've been on the internet and followed it. You know what I'm saying? But I just saying, I don't see us having no equality problems here in the Bahamas.
It depends on what is said here tonight. My decision is still not firm, so it depends on what is said here tonight. I would decide if I'm going to vote or not.
In the meantime, Moss, who is encouraging Bahamians to reject all 4 amendments, insists the bills are promoting a homosexual agenda. He says this referendum is one of the most significant in the country in nearly 50 years and is urging Bahamians to vote no because he says a yes vote would result in a change in Bahamian culture.
This is a capitulation to some pressure that is truly coming from the Obama administration and from the U.S. But this is wrong. This is contrary to our culture, and this is an attempt to brainwash and surreptitiously overcome the will of the people through a mandate for sex under Bill 4 without telling the people that sex includes sexuality and sexual orientation.
Now, referendum day is set for Tuesday, June 7th. Grand Bahama is preparing to host a major medical conference. The 2016 Regenera Global Medical Conference will take place June 23rd through 25th at the Grand Lucayan Resort and is expected to attract more than 200 medical executives from around the globe. Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. Michael Darville, believes this event is significant for the island.
Regenera Global is a multinational company involved in research, development, and marketing of new biological and pharmaceutical projects in the field of regenerative medicine. In 2016, Okeanos Cell Therapy Research Center and Regenera Global teamed up to host this regenerative conference planned for the island of Grand Bahama. Together with Okeanos and Regenera Global, they will bring highly respected scientists and physicians to the island of Grand Bahama who will have to translate evidence-based medicine into clinical application for physicians and patients to gain access to better healthcare outcomes. Since coming to office, the government of the Bahamas passed a stem cell legislation to create a world-class jurisdiction to facilitate stem cell therapies and research in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority is partnering with Regenera to host the conclave. Chief Operating Officer of Regenera, Kathy Hebert, talks about the aim of the 3-day event, while President of the Port Authority, Ian Roll, says the port will continue to promote Grand Bahama as a viable destination for medical tourism.
This is a regenerative medicine conference, which basically means that it is working to harness your own body's way of healing itself. And we're at Regenera Global are working to bring the top physicians, researchers, and scientists from all over the world to the Grand Bahama here in Freeport so that people from all over the world can have access to these thought leaders and that may learn from them. And we are, as Regenera Global, like to bring together technologies that are able to be used with patients today.
Not only will Grand Bahama have an excellent opportunity to showcase its beauty and charm as a tourism destination, it will also premiere itself as a progressive world hub ready for investment in regenerative medicine, biotechnology, and niche specialty procedures.
Stay with us, there's more news after this.